Hey, how you folks doing? We're down on the Cape now, actually on the damn thing. And unfortunately, my last target plant of today seems to be missing. I was hoping to show you Lachnanthes caroliana, which is the only member of the family Haemodoraceae I think we get in New England. I think one of the only members of that family you get in the United States. It's much more abundant in the southern hemisphere. I couldn't find that. However, there's other interesting stuff going on here that I can show you. A lot of the same plants that were just in that last video, but also some different characters, including Sabatia kennedyana. So some recap, maybe one or two new things, but we will actually make this a quick one just because I couldn't find my target species. I'm 2 for 3 today. That's okay. I think it might even be a little too early. I think I did find it. I think it's just not in bloom. So we'll go take a look. We'll take some good pictures. We'll see if we can sort it out after the fact. I'm going to skip over the stuff that I just covered in the last video, like NEcology, which is everywhere here, like Coreopsis rosea, which is everywhere here, like Gradiolia aria, which is everywhere here. We're going to look at a cool species of Stachys. We're going to look at a cool species of Sympiotrichum. We're going to take a look at Sabatia kennedyana, because you should always look at it, and we'll even see what was going on with potentially what was my target species. So stay tuned. We're going to get into it right now. Okay, so right here, bobbing and weaving in the wind, is a real interesting member of the mint family. It's a Stachys hyssopifolia. I guess because they think the leaves look like hyssop. I don't know. In any case, obvious member of the family Lamiaceae. Got the didynamous stamens. So 4 stamens of unequal lengths up there coming out of the flower. Zygomorphic construction, that just means it's only symmetrical one way. And the opposite leaves. Don't always need the squarish stem, but sometimes they have them. Insanely bizarre distribution on this plant. And rather than try and explain it, I'll just put up the distribution map. It's here in the north, it's here along the coast of New England, looked like New Jersey, some spots in the Great Lakes, and then disjunct in a bunch of seemingly random places around, what would you call that? Why am I blanking here? Why does my mind go blank in moments like this? Around Appalachia. So mint family, I like the mint family. There's some interesting ones. There's just a lot of weeds in that family, and sometimes they can kind of look samey. This one caught my eye. It's growing everywhere here, doing real well for itself. Excuse me. Some species of Stachys are pretty weedy. This one, I guess, is kinda unusual. I'd never talked about it before. I never really dealt with it. But hang on, I just had it pulled up. So yeah, I got I still have the distribution pulled up. So all over Cape Cod, a little bit on Long Island, and then just some random disjunct locations until you get west to Michigan. So western Michigan, you got it. So pretty odd distribution. I'll just put the map up there. Never really dealt with the species before now. Well, I have the little blurb pulled up. Let's see if we can get any more info. Just considered endangered, extirpated from Pennsylvania. Yeah, just a weird, rare, limited distribution mint. No other fun facts about that. Like I said, Stachys is the genus of hedge-nettles. Some of these are invasive. I'm trying to just think, what's one that a lot of people might know? I think is, no, that's prunus I'm thinking of. No, not prunus. God, I'm going to butcher this right now. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. Stachys, hedge-nettles. Some of them get real woody, real weedy. I don't know, maybe some of them do get woody, but a lot of species of Stachys. This one, just a weird little guy just for its distribution alone. Let's go see what else is going on. Okay, so here's a plant I've talked about extensively, but it wasn't growing in the previous location, but nonetheless, one of my favorite plants just in general. A lovely Gentian and an iconic plant of these types of habitats. This is Sabatia kennedyana, although we got a mutant here. So this guy down here, the the beautiful pink and yellow one. That's what these, I'll zoom in on that real quick. That's hilarious. I went to zoom in on the thing and the camera freaking died. Anyway, this is what they typically look like with the beautiful pink and yellow flowers there. And here's this weirdo mutant guy. Get that guy zoomed in for you and focus. I'm not zooming in. I'm actually just trying to focus the camera. So weird white morph, and yet it still has the yellow on the inside. So it's not, you know, albino or leucastic or whatever. I wonder if the fruits, it's still making, you know, still looks like it's making, you know, fruits. I wonder if those are viable. Clearly, since it's actually, this isn't the only one I saw. This is just, the other one I saw was significantly smaller. So, Sabatia kennedyana, beautiful, beautiful gentian. We'll actually go over here where there's many, many, many more of them. Oh, I think I just stepped over a cool, we'll just, you know, they're everywhere. I mean, you can just, I'll just let you, you get the idea. Very beautiful plant. So you've got your, you know, usual, you know, the pink and yellow, opposite leaves, gentian, beautiful calyx. Probably can't see that because I'm not zoomed in. Whatever. We'll get there when we get there. I could talk about this plant for days, and I have. So beautiful pink and yellow calyx. Get a bifid stigma. Quite a number of stamens in there. Beautiful, beautiful calyx. And the entire thing, as most gentians do, has opposite leaves. As most members of the order Gentianaceae do. Rubiaceae is in there. Aposinaceae is in there. A lot of my three great families you gotta really know. So what did I just step over? I saw something interesting. Caught my, yeah, this little thing right here. This little tyke. A little late for them. Come on. But this appears to be some kind of cool Sagittaria. I'll have to figure out what that is. There's a rare one, a couple rare ones. A common one, Sagittaria. What is it, Graminifolia? There's a couple common ones, a couple rare ones. Sagittaria. I always forget the family, so I'll just put it down below. I didn't talk about these all last year. But there's some real common ones. Broadleaf, Arrowhead. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Sagittaria. You know what? Forget it. I'm out of practice on these. I haven't talked about them in a while. Cool little they're not, I fucked it up last time too. I did this with a pipe vine, or not with pipe vine, with Canadian ginger. I got the whole taxonomy confused. I think these are monocots. I'm just gonna put the family below and clarify it in the text, but this might be one of the cool ones. I'll have to take some pictures to figure that out. But yeah, you got a whole just meadow of Sagittaria, or Sabatia kennedyana, and Coreopsis rosea here. This is the Cape to me. Fuck the beach. Well, the beaches are cool too. You get some really cool plant communities out there, but this is why the Cape is special to me. Is these boggy, gravelly pond shores just produce some of the most interesting plant communities in New England, outside of like the alpine stuff and like the orchids you get in the deciduous forests out in Vermont. It is mind-blowing how beautiful and how fragrant smelling this is. You know, these gentians smell great. The Coreopsis smells great too. So we'll see if we can get some clarity on the little Sagittaria down there. I almost missed that guy. I've never seen one that small, so that leads me to believe it's probably a species I've not dealt with before. But we'll get clarification. I'll put the correct taxonomic information there as well for you. I mean, I just don't know how you beat it. My love for this plant and this plant community cannot be over exaggerated. Sabatia kennedyana, all these pond shore plants, they're just so freaking cool. I mention it every time I talk about this plant, but I didn't mention it yet today. Sabatia kennedyana is one of those ones with the really weird distribution. I'll mention it a third time, I don't care. You get it only in southeastern New England. You get it in the Carolinas, like just in one little spot of the Carolinas, like on the coast. It's like the coastal southern North Carolina and northern South Carolina, and then it's like in a couple of sites in Nova Scotia. You know, it's a real weird distribution. You You know, I think people grow this ornamentally, but it's probably pretty tough. It's, again, another one of those plants. I said this in the last video. This entire community only exists between that water body and that forest edge. That is the entire community. It is basically the variance in water level from year to year. That is what keeps this habitat alive. And that's why, you know, you fuck with the hydrology, you start building on these shores, you drain these ponds, you do some shit for brain stuff, and this would just disappear so readily and so quickly. And a lot of it has. I mean, Eupatorium nova anglii, which is not growing here, grows. This is the community that it grows in. You know, it's not going to do its thing. It doesn't come out at all if there's high water. You know, some of these plants, there's a boom and bust. So there's a boom, it's boom and bust. Some of these plants do really well when the water's low. Some of these plants do really well when the water's high. And as long as you don't get too many successive years of either, there's a balance between that. This is what people miss. You know what I mean? Is the context where a lot of stuff you can't just move. You can't just plant it wherever. You have to take care of the habitat. That is why habitat destruction is such an important issue, okay? I'll stop pontificating. I'll get off my throne. I'll get off my soapbox in a second here. But there's so many things, you know, as evidenced by, what was I talking about? That threadleaf sundew. So that plant was everywhere in that habitat, you know, clearly is not doing poorly there. It doesn't grow here. I don't know why. This is a lot more boggy than where we were. It was almost completely sand at the spot we were at earlier, that other pond. This is much more boggy, and you can just see from the ground there a little bit more you know, material, which is probably why you get the Sabatia. But again, it's a lot of overlap in other species here. I just don't know. Like, what would you put here instead? Like, you know. There's a lot more golf courses and condo developments and other, you know, bullshit in the world than there is suitable habitat for Sabatia kennedyana, for Coreopsis rosea, for all these really cool, important plant species. I don't know. I don't know why you people can't appreciate it. I know why. It's because they just don't care. They have no context for it. They haven't been taught. You're stressed out working 70 hours a week trying to put food on the table. You're not going to think about this. I'm afforded the privilege of being able to be concerned about this. But still, at the end of the day, what's stopping you from coming over here? You know, a little cooler, a couple beers. You just sit here. It's so peaceful. Nobody comes out to spots like this unless they're looking for this stuff. I'd sit right there, you know, in that nice little bald spot. I wouldn't be bothering anything. Drink a couple tall boys, have a little sandwich, you know, and just chill out. I gotta go to work tomorrow. You think I'm thinking about that right now? I couldn't care less. It's good for the soul. Sabatia kennedyana, good for the soul. We'll put that on the, I'd say you should put that on the Massachusetts license plate, but I get, you know, trailing arbutus, which is another wonderful native plant, is our state flower. And, you know, not to take anything away from that plant, but okay, enough of my soapbox. There's a cool Symbiotrichum we can look at, and then if I can find it again, I'll show you what I think is the emergent plant, the emergent Lachnanthes that I was planning on showing you originally, but doesn't appear to be in bloom. So we'll go take a look at that. Yeah, okay, I'm actually convinced that this is Lachnanthes caroliana, because as I was walking over, a juvenile one was kind of kicked over, and you could really tell, you know, here's a little piece of the root here. It was kicked over, and that's what the oh shit. Well, I don't want to pick at this thing because it's gonna grow back, but hang on, I found it. So you can see right there, this is the little root fragment that I found, which is iridescent and red, which are two of the characteristics. Plus I just googled pictures of the thing in bud, and it looks exactly like this. So yada yada yada. I'll open this by saying this plant is rare and at the absolute northern limit of its range here in New England. However, unlike a lot of the other stuff you get here, which is stuff you want to preserve, stuff that's endangered, stuff that's treasured, this is actually systematically eradicated from Massachusetts and from a lot of other areas where they grow cranberries, because I guess, and I'm looking around now, and I get it, this can become a serious pest in cranberry bogs. So maybe 2 weeks from now, they'll be blooming. I think they get about, a foot, 2 feet tall. Real weird looking 3-lobed flower. I'll just find a public domain flower. Real common as you go south. That's a common theme on Cape Cod. It's the farthest north that a lot of stuff grows if it's an Appalachian plant, So Lachnanthes caroliana. So this is Haemodoraceae, which is a family that you don't really get in North America, definitely really don't get in New England. You don't really even get in the northern hemisphere at all. It's a predominantly southern hemisphere family of plants. In Australia, the species of this family, most people are probably familiar with, not just in Australia, but anywhere you can grow them because they're popular ornamentals, are the kangaroo paws, which look nothing like this really. I'll have to find a picture of those two to put up. So yeah, Carolina redroot or bloodroot is the common name for this. I don't know how many other species of Lachnanthes you are. This goes all down the south, all down the east coast of the U.S. In fact, actually, that's a cranberry right there. That's Vaccinium, macrocarpon. There's no fruits on it though. I'll have to take a picture of that just to document it. No fruits on any of these. There's a few of them. So I should have been looking for the cranberry, but whatever. So yeah, real interesting. Only one, sorry, hang on. Only one of its kind. You're gonna get, I can't, so the sun's really in a weird position, so I can't really tell where my focus is at. There you go. So, I'll find a picture of the flowers to put up. Real telltale red roots on the thing. Again, not one that is beloved, one that is oftentimes purposefully eradicated and removed, but Cape Cod cranberry bogs, kind of what it's famous for, and this guy loves the same habitat. Too bad it's a pest in certain areas. In Massachusetts, again, far northern limit of its range, and just a weird one that I wanted to check out taxonomically. Unfortunately, I didn't get it in bloom. If I was here 2 weeks later, I probably would have been able to get it, but I would have missed a lot of this other stuff. So it is what it is. Here's another one. Actually, now that I'm looking around, there's a couple of them in bud. Here's another one right here. Yeah, maybe 2 weeks too early, and you get a bunch of cranberry here. A bunch of cranberry. God, sorry, that's the second time this thing's crapped out on me. I gotta get going. My batteries are dying. It's been a long day of filming. Anyway, yeah, no cranberries on the thing, but as I was changing my batteries out, I realized why that was. You look right there. Come on, get in there. Yeah, hey, sorry about this. My camera batteries are completely fried, apparently. I guess one of them didn't charge. I thought I had a third, but I guess not. Anyway, yeah, that's a cranberry flower right there. Nice and cut and dry. Look at the little stigma poking out. This is Vaccinium macrocarpon. Oxycocos is the one that I'm used to covering. But yeah, there's a whole big thicket of it right here. That's all cranberry back in there. So clearly, the thing is growing where you expect it to grow. Sabatia, all this is all that Lachnanthes. This unifacial is the term for this, kind of like an iris. That's kind of cool. In fact, I thought this could be an iris, but an iris wouldn't be coming out of bud, and that that emerging bud seems to be pretty specific to that species. So anyway, Lachnanthes caroliana, Vaccinium macrocarpon, Sabatia kennedyana. You get a nice community of plants here, pretty typical for New England. There's a Symphyotrichum I want to kind of show, then let's get the heck out of here because I'm dying of heat. I'm hungry. It's the end of the day, and that's a busy day of botanizing even for me. I'm a little bit out of practice, so bear with me. So just to clarify real quick, because I brought up something interesting and then I didn't elaborate on it. Yeah, this is cranberry. This is Vaccinium macrocarpon. Common name is American cranberry. There's another species, Vaccinium oxycocos, which is the so-called bog cranberry. Differences between the two are obviously phenology, because this one is flowering now in August, whereas oxycocos would already have fruit out, flowers in like June. Actually can flower even a little bit earlier than that, can flower in like May. A much smaller plant, much smaller fruit. This is the cultivated variety right here, not this specific bunch. This is where it grows wild. It's a New England native crop, much like blueberries are, which is ironic because blueberries are also a species of Vaccinium. I digress. Yeah, the bog cranberry oxycocos is going to be like on a floating peat mat, not just on an acidic pond shore, like a bog-y pond shore, but this is not actually, you know, a mat of peat floating above anything. So you get your Vaccinium macrocarpon, you got your Lachnanthes caroliana, Sabatia kennedyana. Oh, I was almost stepping on them. Rexia virginica, which we just talked about at the other site, growing all over, not growing all over the place here, but growing in a couple spots here. And yeah, there's your beautiful, lovely pond shore. A lot of species of Vaccinium out there, especially in New England. Some of them are cranberries, some of them are blueberries. In any case, we're going to take it all in. We're going to go see if we can find a Symphyrotrichum tenuifolium, and we're going to call it a day and go on back. 2 New England institutions were passed. Basically, I can think of 3 crops we actually grow in New England pretty well: potatoes, cranberries, and blueberries. And on my way here, I just so happened to pass both the Ocean Spray cranberry farms. They're little bogs that they have out for growing the cranberries, and which, by the way, are not bogs. If you actually look at them, it's basically just this type of substrate mounded up with water around it. It's not floating on the water. It's not actually like an actual bog. It's not a mat like that. And the Cape Cod potato chip factory. So I'll leave you with that. We'll go check out Symphyrotrichum tenuifolium. We'll get the hell out of here. I'll get a bag of chips and an Ocean Spray cranberry juice for the ride home. How about that? All right, we're back here about a month later, and indeed we found quite a prolific amount of Lachnanthes caroliana redroot, or bloodroot, whatever the hell they call. I probably covered most of the taxonomy of the thing, and I'm gonna spare the details now because I'm here with some other folk that I don't want to keep up. But you get your Lachnanthes caroliana. Let's take a look at the flowers real quick. These seem to be actually finishing up. This one's in, where was one? There was one in good shape here. There we go. This one's in great shape. So this is, that thing died on me. There we go. This is Lachnanthes is gonna be difficult. Okay, hang on. Move this back a little bit. We'll get this squared away. There we go. Okay, Lachnanthes caroliana redroot. This is the only native species in the family Haemodoraceae that you really get in New England. Not really many of them in North America at all. Maybe some species down in the Caribbean, down in Mexico in a different genus. The kangaroo paws, you gotta look them up if you haven't before. I'll put a picture there if I haven't already. Floral morphology on these is wild. You can see what you have there is the thing opens up. The petals are seated within basically the sepals, and those stamens are coming out, like, I guess, oppressed to the petals on the inside there. Little 3 capsule fruits on them when they're done. The stamens, and you can actually get a better view of what the styles look like on this one, are persistent even after pollinated. The fruits look real weird. I kind of popped one open. I can right now too. It's okay. They have that same red pigment. Can you even see that? Same red pigment that the roots have. Kind of reminds me of a euphorbia with the way that the fruits look, the 3 capsuled fruits. But we found some other neat stuff over here that I did not take note of last time. The Lachnanthes is doing very well in this corner. All those little orange tufts, those are all Lachnanthes in flower. A reminder, this is treated as nothing more than an agricultural weed in many other parts of its range down the east coast of the United States. You still got Sabatia kennedyana blooming, very beautiful. You have a plant over here, though I've covered, I did not cover at this particular site, you have Drosera filiformis here. Quite prolific along the sandy coast of southern New England. Real wild, real interesting plant in general. Rather robust for a sundew. We're going to take a try at growing this, actually, because I collected some seed of it. You get a nice euthamia here. That was a, kind of omnipresent in habitats like this. Coreopsis rosea, again. Gradiolia aurea, and there's a Stachys hyssopifolia back there. All a recap. And then you also have this plant, which I saw actually in the video where I'm talking about this plant. This plant's growing there as well, a somewhat rare member of the family Sabatia. This is Cyperus dentatus. I'm probably going to butcher that, but again, I've been urged to get more into the graminoids and really pay attention to them. These are the parenchyma, the little nutlets, the fruits, if you would, because indeed Cyperaceae are still angiosperms despite being graminoid monocots. It's a real beautiful sedge, real wonderful color it has to it. Anyway, happy I could get you the Lachnanthes in flower there. These ones are kind of wilted, these are done, but you get an idea. You can really tell, your stamens from your styles there. Parts of 3. It's a monocot. It's not one that we get a lot of. I'll have to put what the order is, because I honestly do not remember. But how wonderful is the coastal pond habitat? Drosera, really cool. Not endemic to New England, but kind of restricted range Drosera. Just a fantastic habitat. Anyway, came all the way back out to get pictures of that, get video of that. Found some other stuff. I was actually over on the complete other side of this before, but seems to be doing a bit better here. Actually, yeah, there's a really fresh batch of flowers right there. How bizarre is that? Autofocus ain't gonna work. There we go. What a weird, looks like nothing I've seen before. Real fascinating. In any case, take it easy. Sorry, I'm back with one more thing, because I love when they do this at these spots. So there's the Plymouth Gentian, Sabatia, kennedyana. This freshwater pond and surrounding pondlets are of global significance, providing the best example of remnant Atlantic coastal pond habitat, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. It's preventing woody species from encroachment. They got a whole bunch of this bullshit encroaching right now. This is Frangula ulmus. Not specific at all to this habitat, just a pest no matter where it occurs. But yeah, that I saw encroaching there. I'm trying to be, yeah, see? So they get the Plymouth Gentian Rose Coreopsis. I didn't even bother showing it to you, but it was everywhere there. We just saw that last episode, so go back and watch that. In some years during late summers, yep, they become exposed. Yeah, so that is their entire habitat, is where the water stops to where the woody, the forest like this ends. So anyway, I love it when they do this. If I got the name in there, I know it's a public spot, but I don't, whatever. So is the other place I go. I don't want to blow it up, so whatever. You get the idea. Nice cool viburnum right there, though. So anyway, really, really done for now. I hate shooting on the phone because I just ramble like I'm doing now, but whatever. You get the idea. Little epilogue.